My dear friend, today I want to share something with you. Something not everyone dares to pause and truly listen to. The silent pain that lives inside each of us. Have you ever felt cold inside, even while standing in a crowd? Have you smiled at the world only to return home with a heart weighed down by something no one can see? These wounds unseen and unspoken breathe with us every day. I've carried them too. And in my search for peace, for an answer to this quiet suffering, I turned to ancient wisdom. Among all I found, it was Thoth, the Egyptian god of wisdom and truth, who showed me another way to heal. Let me tell you something. Thoth never told us to run from pain. He taught that emotions are not enemies. They are messengers of the soul. Think about it. From a young age, we were taught to hide our feelings. Don't cry. Be strong. Move on. But no one ever taught us how to sit with ourselves with the broken pieces within. Healing, according to Thoth, doesn't begin with strength. It begins with loving acceptance. When you stop fleeing from your emotions and sit down with them to say, I'm here with you, whether you are sadness, anger, or fear, you have already lit the first flame of transformation. Let me tell you the story of an artist named Kimi. He lived by the Nile and painted with such depth that people called his art divine. Yet every night, Kimi would curl up in a corner of his room, trembling with a hollow he couldn't name. Despite all his success, he felt unworthy of love. He couldn't trust anyone, especially himself. One stormy night, he sought out an old sage, a man known by the villagers as the keeper of Thoth's words. Kimi asked, how do I stop feeling empty? How do I learn to love myself again? The sage said nothing at first. He simply handed Kimi an old faded mirror. Each day, look into this, not to see yourself, but to meet yourself. When you can look into your eyes, without fear, healing will begin. Kimi did as he was told. The first day he cried, the second he avoided the mirror. By the 10th day, he managed a faint smile. For the first time, he saw a face that wasn't ugly, wasn't broken, just human. On the 30th day, he saw light in his eyes again. The light that had always been there, only covered by dust and fear. And dear friend, let me tell you the miracle that happened. Healing didn't come from medicine or praise. It came from a single sacred act. Kimi met himself without judgment. That's where the transformation begins. When you stop labeling emotions as bad or wrong and instead ask, what are you here to teach me? Sadness. Thoth teaches that every emotion carries a vibration. If we repress it, it grows stronger. But if we see it truly, see it with presence, it softens. It becomes understanding. And let me whisper a quiet truth. There are people who grew up never being heard, so they learned silence. There are people who loved and were betrayed, so they learned to distrust. And some who failed once and stopped dreaming altogether. Are you one of them? If so, you're not alone. You're not broken. You're human. Thoth never asked us to fix ourselves. He simply said, begin with compassion for yourself. Every time you tell yourself, I know you're hurting and I won't abandon you, you rewrite your soul's destiny. Let me tell you how I began healing. I wrote down what I felt raw and unfiltered. I placed my hand on my heart, closed my eyes and listened to its rhythm, like holding a crying child close. I walked slowly in nature, letting the breeze and light calm the storms within me. And I forgave not just others, but myself. I forgave myself for trying too hard, for calling myself worthless, for forgetting who I really was. And friend, let me share the most beautiful part. When you begin to heal emotionally, the world seems to change, not because people become kinder, but because you no longer view them through the lens of your pain. You find compassion. You become more patient with those who are still hurting. You stop trying to be perfect and begin to love your imperfections as sacred tattoos of your soul. And before I end, let me say this. Thoth was never far from you. He lives in every breath you take when you choose love over resentment. He speaks in your silence when you pause instead of reacting. Every tear you've cried in honesty, every moment you've chosen to forgive. That's a flame lit on the altar of your soul. Healing isn't a destination. It's a choice you make every day. And if your heart was touched by these words, please share them with someone who needs a gentle hand right now. Let's spread this energy of acceptance, love, and deep wisdom. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, where ancient truths, soul-deep stories, and healing insights wait for you like a lamp glowing in the dark. You are worthy of light. You are worthy of a life that is not just good enough, but one where you are fully yourself, and I'll always be here to whisper these sacred things into your heart whenever you need them. See you again at the next gateway. Thank you.